Hello everyone. In today's fictional creatures profile we're going to be doing is Bastiladon. The Bastiladon are mighty and hulking species of reptiles whose heavily armored shell is is purposed one of the strongest within the continent of Lustria. It is a walking fortress, a living bastion covered in a rock-hard bony skin, and then further protected by massive iron-like plates. Even those blows that crack the outermost armor plates cannot penetrate deeply into the beast due to the Bastiladon's altering layers of thick, leathery skin and additional scales. Because of its high, impenetrable armor, there are a few predators in Lustria that will dare to attack a Bastiladon. There's a natural armor so dense that it can sometimes thwart the bite of the mighty Carnosaur. Such formidable protection, however, does come at a cost of the Bastiladons is a lumbering and ponderous creature, slowed down by its own dense weight. The largest threat to Bastiladon comes not from a prowling gargantuan carnivores, but rather the quicksand and boggy mud that can be found throughout the steaming jungles. Even on solid ground, the heavy trend of the armored beast leaves deep prints, and should one wander too deeply into the swampy area, it can all too easily become hopeless. Murd. This is exactly how the skinks have come to trap the Bastiladons, using all their wits to subjugate and train the beasts. When threatened by a formidable opponent, the Bastiladon attempts to stomp lesser creatures with its enormous clawed limbs and its impressive and extremely heavy bulk, driving their bodies deep into the ground and simmering what remains into dust, while its incredible bulk and its shell will never allow the creature to build up a thunderous impact like that of the mighty Stegodon herds. The Bastiladon is still a formidable fighter whose true abilities rely on heavily on fighting on the defensive. When fighting back against opponents, their hawkerish beaks deliver the bite that can cleave a full-grown bola tree in two, or sever an armor knight and his entire horse in half. A Bastiladon's best weapon, however, it is on the end of its long, heavily muscular tail. Like the equivalent of an ankylosaur, a massive knot of compacted, compacted bone covered all over its armored plates and body stumps. This mace-like protrusion can be swung with such devastating momentum that it can shatter granite or pulverize man-sized opponents into oblivion, leaving only blood-splattered craters to mark where the once stood. Even the largest creatures must respect these bone-breaking belgians. For the impact can break ribs of any lustrian apex predators that would dare to attack a foe so armored and armed. When ridden to war, the Bastiladon carry with them some of the treasured weapons of the temple cities. Their incredibly thick and armored hides allows them to carry devices that other beasts, even the reverse stegodon, steadfastly refuse. These reserved and holy objects are mounted upon the great beast's back so that they might be activated to smite any who dare to set foot on their sacred lustria. For example, the Ark of Sotak, or the twin-headed Ark, is a device that is used first in the Sakavin Wars by order of the Tahaninihula. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing the name himself. It is a sacred stone artifact lifted by the Bastiladon's armored back in appearance. It is a stone basin engraved with symbols reverberating Sotek. As the Bastiladon pounds towards its enemies, the skink crew activates these glyphs, and perhaps most importantly, rake the corals beneath, form out of the ark's sacred confines, pour forth an endless supply of serpents. Blessed by the Sotak, or at least enraged by the heat, and eager to attack nearest foe, while some beasts would understandably bulk at the multitude of snakes, it is the red-hot corals that cause the creatures to refuse to carry this sacred device. Such it is the thickness of the Bastiladon's armor, however, that it does not even notice the blazing fires stoked on its very back. Like many lizard men devices, at first seems to be quite simple, but the magic is twofold. Firstly, the Sotek blessings. The enraged serpents swarm out and strike at those nearby. Yet miraculously, the snakes only attack the enemies of the lizard men. The second implexicability thing, although few foes ever lived long enough to realize it. It is the ark never runs out of snakes, whether they are summoned from the surrounding flora or created by the eldritch means is irrelevant. The serpents continue to issue forth like water from the wall. So many vipers, asps, and snake of all kinds with near the ark that those swarms of reptiles accompanying the lizardman army grow ever larger in its presence. Upon need of the eldritch and implacable, the artifact, known as a solar engine, is taken from its secure chamber deep within the confines of the pyramid temple and maneuvered onto the Bastiladon's carapace. Skink priests declare that the Bastiladon is favored by Kotek, the Lord of the Sun, and this creature alone is worthy to carry the solar engine. Whether this is true or if it's a hooray, Bastiladon is simply the only jungle creature that can bear the superheated device upon its back. It is unknown when activated. The Arcane machine radiates rays that steer nearby reptilian creatures to ignited new heights of action and violence when the attending skink crew intone and correct blessings to Chotek. The sun engine also blasts forth a beam of instant heat, which burns the foes like the constant rays of the sun itself. Another artifact on the old ones the lizard men have mounted on top of the Bastiladons to use as war machines is a revived faction crystal. This blue crystal heals those lizard men close to it, regenerating wounds and bringing supply crates from the point of death. And that's it for this video. Like and subscribe, and see you later, guys.